Glossy enough. We are live. It is Wind Down Wednesday. Where is everybody? Are you here? Oh, I know it, everybody. Oh my God, it was one of those days. I'm going to sit here and shove my face while we're talking, and I do not feel bad about it. It's one of those days. This is my second time eating a day. Normally, I would have ate probably 5 or 6 times at this point. So,
I think we need to acknowledge the elephant in the room of how you look incredibly flawless and glam, and I literally looked like disheveled hot mess, like I just put my kids to bed, which I just did.
Listen, first of all, let me just explain. First of all, the reason why I need to wait, I'm going to go over to Instagram and make sure I post for people to make sure they're watching. Because, you know, the people on Instagram need a reminder that we done moved.
I know.
Yes. Yeah. But no, I'm normally never like this on a Wednesday night. I had to do a photo shoot, a little mini photo shoot today, and I did not have time to run upstairs and wash my face and get my pajamas on and do what I normally do on a Wednesday night. I never want to be like this on Wind Down Wednesday, because this is not a good representation of winding down. I have not wind down. I'm still like on 1,000 right now. And listen, it was just one of those days. So how are you feeling, Aly?
I'm good. It was one of those nights for me with my son where bedtime routine is like, 5 hours long. And it's all my fault because, as parents, if you do something once, your child expects it every time, just as you did it the first time, So it's like, I get really into telling him bedtime stories. I make them up as I go. I love I bring different characters into it. And you know what? So shame on me, because then it takes about 5 years to put him to bed because he needs to know, he needs one more story, or I leave it at a cliffhanger and there's no to be continued. Like, he needs to know everything right then and there. So
you and Chris are so much alike. Because he does the same thing. You and Chris, y'all both are Leos.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody out there that knows from the podcast, me and Aly's husband are both Libras.
Yep.
That's just a match. It really is. Like
funny
friendships.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny.
But let's go ahead and get to it. Everybody, I hope you have your wine glasses ready, because tonight we are drinking something new. Well, new for me. Aly's had it before, but we're drinking wine from a vineyard called La Crema. And then you can see the banner at the bottom of the screen where you can visit their website. I'm excited because I made sure I waited to have my wine. It's been aerating for about 30 minutes, and I cannot wait to have my first sip. But before I do that, I do want to talk a little bit about La Crema. First of all, thank you, La Crema, for sending us all these amazing bottles.
Mm-hmm.
They specialize in Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. And they were established on the Sonoma coast, and they are the reason why the appellation on the Sonoma coast was basically brought to prominence. It was them. They celebrated their 40th anniversary in 2019. And like I said before, they're known for producing Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. So I am drinking their 2018 Sonoma Coast Pinot Noir tonight. Aly said she has some bottles too. What are you sipping on tonight?
I actually opened up the same bottle. That's funny. You opened up the same bottle.
Yes. But I run through all of these, not tonight, but over the next few weeks.
I don't know. Don't. I might. So I love La Crema. So first off, like, there's nothing better than getting a package in the mail to you that involves wine. And when I saw that it was La Crema, I was so excited because this has always been one of my favorites. And you can get it at so many different locations and different wine stores and stuff. But it's funny. So this was like 5.5 years ago. My husband and I booked a trip to go to Sonoma to visit friends and do the full-blown wine tour, go to every winery. And we get there. And actually, I'm sorry, a couple weeks prior, I find out, oh, I'm pregnant with Sam.
Oh my gosh.
And we had this trip booked for so long, and it's like, so the first people I ended up telling were the people we went to visit, and I ended up having to be the designated driver on a trip through Sonoma to every winery. I didn't get to drink anything. I smelled La Crema when we went there. I smelled it. but I didn't get to taste it. So
Wow.
yeah, you better believe all these bottles are mine. They are mine.
Look, that sucks because you do become the designated driver when you're pregnant. And for me, even months after, because my palate is just not the same after pregnancy. It takes me a while to even want to taste wine or anything else, like for months, especially if you're breastfeeding. That was just my story. Let's say hi to some of the people that have logged in. Hi, Helen. Helen said she is drinking vodka. Hey,
I
it's
can't
not
see anybody. Okay.
what you need to do to wind down is just fine. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Jeannie. So I want to make sure everyone knows if you do want to try any of these wines by La Crema, you can visit their website, lacrema.com, which is on the bottom of the screen. And you can also get it on drizzlywine.com and Instacart. So they're very accessible. You can get it anywhere. Like I said, we're having the Pinot Noir, the 2018 from their vineyard. And I'm about to sip before we do our sip to that because I need it right now. I'm going to sip to a busy day that was nonstop right now. Cheers.
Cheers. So good.
Yeah. Wow. This is really good. I like it has like a kind of like a peppery tone at the aftertaste. It's like a little spicy. Like this is really good.
It's delicious. I'm going to sip to the fact that bedtime routine for my kids, especially my almost 5-year-old, is just getting longer and longer. And I should really just chug the wine at this point. Yeah.
I'm good to that too, because I just yelled at my other two and told them to take their butts to bed, and I will tuck them in when I'm done this live. They like to take advantage. And I come downstairs and wait, let me sip to that first. As I'm scrambling downstairs so that I can sit down and get started, I overhear my 7-year-old saying, yeah, mommy's going to come down here and we're going to ruin her video because we're going to be in the background and she's going to be yelling at us.
They're plotting.
Christopher, I'm like, these kids, the older they get, oh my God. I am going to say, take a sip. If the way your child translates what you say is just always off. Like I'll say, use your words. It translates to them in their mind as keep whining. You know, like with that. They do the very opposite of everything that you ask. Mm-hmm. It is so annoying. Take a sip.
Yep. I'm taking another sip actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Helen said, glad to know a new wine. Let's see. She said, glad to know a new wine brand. I enjoy some white wines. I'll check it out. Yes. And they have their Sauvignon Blanc here, which I'm going to try. I like drinking the white wines. And then they even have sparkling wine, their Brut Rosé.
Yes.
I'm drinking stuff like that during the day. Like, so I think maybe like Friday.
Little Sunday, Monday.
Yes, Sunday. Oh yeah. So during the day, if I want to have like a little something, I'm definitely going to try these, and I'll probably even just do a post on Instagram. I'll do a story swipe up telling you what I think about some of these white wines. So, but this red is so good. If you're into red wine, this is it right here.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Danielle Johnson. Hey, she said, I'm drinking wine too.
Cheers.
Everybody, look, we always need that little break every now and then. And I'm here for it. So we had a few comments on our Instagram post when we were promoting tonight. And I love the fact that people are talking about quarantine. Everybody can relate to it. So why not? So some people were asking, what are some of our quarantine survivals? What do we do with our kids? For people who do not have kids that are home pretty much alone a lot and feeling very weary of leaving the house and all of those different things, how are you coping? So so many times we focus on, oh my God, we have kids and we're in quarantine, but what about the single folks? Shout out, sip to the single folk.
Absolutely. Yes. My husband said to me, like, I think it was a month ago, I guess so, 6 months into quarantine, he's like, man, can you imagine if we were still like kidless, living in DC, quarantine, how amazing that would be, like just us. And then we asked our friend who he's quarantined with his girlfriend. He's like, this is miserable. It's hard. You know, it's challenging from every single perspective, you know?
It is. But you know, one thing that it was kind of annoying at first, but I come to appreciate it. The quarantine really forced you to deal with some of the issues or tendencies or whatever with your spouse. Oh my God. I guess with us just being in a house with kids and we're just like here, it was like every little thing that I used to just like brush off, like, oh, that's not a big deal, became a big deal. So I was driving my husband crazy. He was driving me crazy. And then we were like, you know what? Our therapist does video chat. Let's start doing that weekly. And it has been so amazing because it gave us an outlet. Thank God for the fact that we're able to communicate via video and have sessions. And it actually was better for us because we were more consistent about having those sessions. So I was like, this is great. Like, it's been really good. And you have those moments with your kids where they just get so bored and they just want something new to do. So having to be that creative mom, I've gone from being very busy with my companies and just like sitting in traffic because you're going from one place to the next. So being home allowed me to have so much more time to just like focus on my kids and things that I really enjoy doing with them. So I just try to look at the positives in all of it. But the negative is that they have so much energy. And if you remember when the quarantine first started, it was a lot of raining going on.
Unbelievable rain here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you brought up a really good point. Like quarantine really held up the mirror to your family. And it just like showed every little crack in relationships. I mean, whether it's marriage or friendships, if you guys disagreed on, you know, certain things with quarantine. And I mean, even now it's kind of shifted my friendships with everybody. But I think the therapy thing has been huge. I totally agree because there's, you know, I do wonder with quarantine what will come out of it relationship wise, because it can be incredibly challenging for a relationship. I mean, not only are you told to stay at home, but, you know, maybe you lost your job or, you know, your kids are home doing virtual and you're still working. It's just, there's so many stress factors involved that it's just, it's bound to cause you to break down at some point. It's kind of how you deal with it and come back up from it, you know?
Yes. I just wanted to give a shout out to Sudanya. She is watching from NOLA. It's her first time on. Thank you so much for watching. And then my family, Tanisha, she said, my family and I have been enjoying outside more. Nature is a natural healer. You are absolutely right. Let me tell you, and Aly, I know you have been doing the same thing. It has forced us to play outside with our kids. And I love it. I was so sore the first few days because I'm moving around and running around and chasing them around. I would get in bed like, yo, I am like, it was a whole workout, but it's been good. And I think it's so important when we are trapped in the house for so long, having that natural sunlight. You have no idea how much healthier you feel when you're outside getting good sun. That's what I always say to my kids. Let's go outside and get some sun. That natural vitamin D is a healer. And it just feels so like refreshing. You're breathing fresh air. You're not just cramped inside the walls of your home. We would do nature walks, playing outside on the basketball court. It's been really good. Just having that bonding time. But like someone said earlier, let me scroll up. Jeannie said, my temper is definitely shorter during the pandemic. Then you have that side, you know?
I mean, absolutely. Real quick with the nature stuff, I feel like, you know, when it comes to kids, we feel this pressure like, okay, let me buy them, you know, Amazon in the beginning was going crazy. Everybody was buying paints and crafts and, you know, whatever it could be, all the bubbles, chalk was, you know, waitlisted or whatever. And at the end of the day, I mean, Tanisha said it, like, it's being outdoors and nature. My kid now loves going on hikes and he loves exploring different creeks. I mean, and it's the best free activity. I've saved so much money by taking my kid to a creek for 3 hours and playing in the water and catching frogs and tadpoles. Like, it has been awesome. Yeah, I do agree also on the temper thing. I've had to take a lot of deep breaths on that one.
Let's talk about saving money, because I have not had to spend hardly any dimes like the whole pandemic. Because a lot of times if I'm doing like press, it's like you got to get the whole outfit, or, you know, like rushing around with the kids and buying them clothes. And I saved so much money on clothes. I didn't buy any clothes during quarantine. And my kids grew 2 sizes from the time quarantine started to now. So I had to like catch up and buy them some stuff to wear. We went like out for dinner and I'm telling them to get dressed. I'm picking out their clothes. Everything was too small. I was like, okay, this is insane. But it was just cool because it was like most days we were in pajamas, like we were in sweats, we were being very comfortable. And it got to a point where once we are going out and just kind of going out to eat again as a family, they were excited about getting dressed. They were like, oh, yeah, I'm putting this on, that on. Like, so it was nice. It was a nice little change up. I will say when the quarantine first started, my kids were having nightmares. They were not sleeping well. They kept getting in our bed at like 2, 3 in the morning. I just think with all of the news and the just like us not really knowing what's going to happen.
They can sense it. It was scary. In the beginning, it was very, very scary. And I mean, it's still a lot of it is, but I think that initial shock of the stay at home and just the uncertainty of everything. Sadly, now I feel like it's shifted to this new normal with no end in sight. But like, yeah, I hear you.
Yes, Stephanie, catch up. Yes, she said, I think I should go get a glass of wine. Love you, Monique. Thank you so much. But yeah, come on, catch up with us. We done took about 5 sips already. We 5 sips in. If anybody in the comments, if y'all have any tips or tricks that you did for your kids, please share. And for people who don't have kids who are here, tell us how you survived so that we can spread that message as well, because I do have a lot of friends who are single. And I had one friend, I'm not going to put him on blast, but he had been in the house by himself for so long during quarantine. The very first time that he came around us, he was like, my voice feels weird. He's like, am I talking low? Am I talking too loud? He said, I have not spoken to anyone in person in so long that it feels weird to speak right now.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, am I too loud? Because all I'm doing is yelling all day, saying the same thing times because these kids don't listen and they like to push your patience. That's all I do all day. Repeat myself.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but like, I totally hear that. And the first time I remember seeing friends that like, you know, hanging out with people that weren't my husband or my 2 kids, I felt like I lost how to be social and how to like have a normal conversation. I just felt so socially awkward. I'm like, am I being weird? Am I okay? How do I talk to somebody that's not my 5-year-old? Or, you know, just, I had no idea. It's crazy.
Yes. And you know what? It felt so weird the first time that I went out and I started driving.
Yes.
I didn't want to tell my husband this, but we were driving somewhere. I can't remember where we were going. It was like my first time driving since quarantine. And I literally felt like I was a beginning driver all over again. I felt so unsure on the road. I felt very like, just like anxious, like, oh my goodness. Like it was so weird. I was like, am I the only one? That was so weird. Let's see. Someone said, Helen said, not to get preachy, but mature walks have a ripple effect. Kids are out of the house and get more into nature and respecting our earth, not to mention being more athletic. Great stuff. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We have been, I don't know if anyone watches my stories, but you'll see us always taking in some type of creature or rescuing some type of creature. We've been rescuing spiders. My kids know if they see any type of bug in the house, do not kill it. Why? That bug is more afraid of us than we are of it. And you can see the terror in the way they're scrambling, trying to get away.
Yes.
So, look, I will get one of my little containers and I'll like trap it, put it in a container and bring it outside. Like, and they know that. So now when they see bugs and things, like they're more into it now. So they're like, Mommy, there's a praying mantis. It flew inside. We had grasshoppers come inside the house, praying mantis. You can't even kill them because you will get fined. But we've had all kinds of things. We started watching hummingbirds. We got the little hummingbird nectar, and we've been putting it out, changing the water every, day to 2 days, making sure it's nice and clean for the birdies. It's been amazing. Just sitting out on the front porch, just enjoying the nature has been beautiful, honestly.
Yeah, and to go off, what Helen and you are saying, something that we did was, so like I really put my kids on a routine every day, and there was a day, 30 minutes in the morning and 30, and then later in the afternoon we'd go outside. But in the morning, I'd always make a treasure hunt, a scavenger hunt of like, let's go outside and let's find, a brightly colored leaf, or let's look for a bunny. And so that's a great way to get your kids outside, and they have to check off the items that they see as well.
That's so funny you said that. I actually had them do that today. I had them make a list. Christopher went the extra mile and made a book, and he called it the Discovery Book.
Wow.
Went outside, and Milani, so they worked together as a team. Milani pointed out the things, and then he wrote it down. And I thought it was just so cute. I told them, hey, Milani, you have your own, and you like make a drawing and spell what you can. And then I told Christopher to write everything down, because he's writing now. So it's like, all right, let's make this into an assignment, And they worked together as a team. And he said, no, what we decided is that Milani's going to point out everything, and then I'm going to write the story. And I thought that was so sweet, but they're very observant, and they're very excited when they see different things. They're taking pictures. There was this huge caterpillar. Kid you not. I wish I had a picture. I will put it on the screen right now. It was about that wide.
Okay.
And it was green, and it had all of these like colorful rainbow looking little like spiky things coming out of it. I've never in my life seen anything like that.
Really? I've never
so crazy.
seen that either.
Can you text me that picture of that caterpillar so I can show the people?
Hopefully before you get off.
Okay. All right. If Chris sends it to me, I'm going to put it up on the screen and show y'all. This is some crazy prehistoric mess. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Jeannie said, yes, my car felt foreign to me when I started driving again. Also, the neighborhood looked different because they did so much construction. Yeah. So I'm glad I'm not the only person that felt that way, because listen.
Yes.
That was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What else did we do during quarantine? I know we posted on social media, which was nice.
I did. There are a lot of Facebook groups for moms, whether it be in your neighborhood or just in general, of activities you can do at home. And one of the things that I did for my son that he loved, and actually I kind of want to do it one time because it looks like it's therapeutic. I froze his toys, and then I gave him, well, he insists you're supposed to use like a toy hammer, but he insisted on a real hammer, which is fine. And he hammered his toys out and had the best time.
I'm still in that.
So fun.
Because they like freezing. They'll put like the plastic containers and make ice cubes, and they like making them in different sizes.
Yeah, so put like little plastic dinosaurs or whatever, and make it like they're digging up fossils or something. And you can even add food coloring to it to make the water, to make the water bright blue, whatever you want. But my son loved it. He still asked for us to do it. I'm like, sure.
I'm so still in that, because they keep wasting my red cups. I'm like, that's genius. So get a container. I have food coloring. Have them put toys. That's a great idea, Aly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Wow.
Kids just love water. I don't know what it is, but kids are obsessed with water. So one time I gave my son a bucket and soap, and I had him wash all of his toys in the garage, and he loved it. He made a little car wash.
Wow. Oh, that's so cool. I love it. I love this question that Tanisha just asked, because I love talking about oils all day long. She said, random question. Is it safe to put lavender oil in a baby's bath? My little one is 9 months. Okay. So my first question to you is going to be, what type of oil do you have? Is it therapeutic or is it aromatherapy? If it's 100% pure therapeutic, like my oils that I'm about to release soon, Mila Eve Essentials, everybody check it out. If it's 100% pure therapeutic, yes, it is safe. I like to do that by putting Epsom salt. I put Epsom salt inside of like a little measuring cup, And I actually drop my oils onto the Epsom salt so it can absorb first. And then you pour that into your bath. The reason why is if you put oil directly into running water, what do oil and water do? They separate. So you're not going to get the real benefits as you would if you were to put it into Epsom salt first, let it soak and absorb, and then pour the Epsom salt into the tub. So it just depends on what type of oil you're using. Make sure it's not aromatherapy grade. Make sure it's pure 100%, because you don't want anything that has chemicals in it. You definitely don't want to inhale that or put it on top of your skin. So yes, freezing all the toys. Yes, squats and margaritas. Hey, Aaron, she said, be right back. Freezing all the toys. I love it. That is going to be the funnest thing. And give them something to kind of like chisel it out. Oh, I love it.
They
Great.
love it. Yes. Yeah.
One thing that I definitely did more of during the quarantine, family video chats, like as a whole group. So we have a family chat via text message on our phones with my mom, my sister, my brother, everybody. But we've been doing like family Zoom calls, and it's been so much fun just to see your sibling's face or your parent's face versus just talking over text message. So that's been really fun because all of us are very busy in our schedules. My sister and my brother live in California. They're always doing everything, and I hardly get to see them except for when they come into town. So it was fun to just like know that everybody's like at home and we're able to like see each other, talk to each other, and deal with the quarantine together as a family. Like that was like amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. We did that. I think we started it when my son turned 1 at the very beginning of quarantine. We had like a family call and stuff. Yeah. And then since then we've done it a couple of times, and you're right. It's so nice. And I feel like if anything, like this is forcing you this is kind of like making you want to catch up with family. I don't know about you, but there were times where I'm like, all right, it's fine. They live in Connecticut. I live here in Maryland, but like not being allowed to visit them was making me just really miss them. So you're right. Zoom is a great way to do that.
Yep. I'm over here. I'm trying to like discreetly text somebody to bring me a bottle of my oil so I can show it to y'all.
Yeah.
It wasn't too discreet. I couldn't I can't do two things at once. So I'm trying to listen and then I'm typing. I'm like, hold on, let me just stop fronting for a second because y'all know
Tell us more about the oils. I'm so excited.
No, but I wanted to reply to what you said because even though I can't do two things at once, I did hear you. And it definitely made you feel like I need to see my family. I need to be around them because you do not know how much time you have. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. COVID has been so scary. And I think that with all of the fear involved, it definitely gave you more of an appreciation for life and just being grateful because, you had people who experienced death due to COVID who were happy and healthy, young. And then you had people who were older or people who had more. You don't have the 10 milliliter bottle? Thanks. You could bring a couple of them, Leaf, if you want. They're in the mud room, all sitting there. It's a bunch of them. So the crazy thing about it is that you had people from all ages, all backgrounds, whether they had health issues or not, deal with this. And that is very scary. I don't know why these random gnats like to come out when I'm trying to sip my wine and host my wine down.
I want some La Crema.
Oh my God. So I had an aunt, I had my grandmother, I had an uncle who all had COVID. Thank God they recovered. They're happy, they're healthy, they're good. Yeah. I had a friend who passed away from COVID. It's just been it just makes you just really just sit back and just say, oh my God, I love my family so much. And make sure I tell them this. Make sure that they can feel my love. And, it's been crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
So I have, so I'm going to show you my lavender. I don't know if you can see it with the glare. Okay, there you go. So this is lavender and this is Lavender Oasis. So the Lavender Oasis has a few different strains of lavender from different parts of the world. So it just has a beautiful scent, very calming, very relaxing. We're actually we're launching with 34 different oils and 4 different styles of diffusers. And we'll be rolling out more products right after that. But I'm so excited. I've actually been using my oils, just coming up with different combinations so that I can really explain to people how to use them, how to mix oils that you don't really often use or know of. Like when you hear patchouli, you're like, what the heck oil is that? Like, what do I use that for? It is actually a good way to replace using deodorant. You can use a drop of patchouli and rub it under your armpits. It's an antiseptic, it's antibacterial, and it will help you transition into being all natural instead of using the deodorant that you buy in the stores. If if people have researched deodorant these days, I know a lot of people are leaning towards natural deodorant. So there's an oil, I swear, for everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I even have an oil called Self-Defense.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So which combination so far is one that you found that you just can't wait to share?
The nighttime oils. So I have one that's called Breathe Easy. Breathe Easy. I put that on my kid's chest. What I love about this particular oil is that it has pine in it. I am not a person who likes pine. I do not like the smell of it. Around Christmas time, I'm like, oh, some people love it. Some people love it. But this particular oil, because of the blend, it opens you up. So I put that on my kid's chest so that they can open up and breathe very well while they're sleeping. There's another oil that I have called Sleepy Time. And I named it that because I always tell my kids, sleepy time, sleep time, whatever. So I named it and they know because I always say that to them. So that was cute. So that's another oil. And I roll that. I actually take a few drops and I rub that on their back to relax them. The next that I put into their diffuser, I put those two in their diffuser, and then I add in eucalyptus and peppermint. So I use those 4 oils in the diffuser. I rub the oils I just told you on them, one on their chest, one on their back. Girl, they have been sleeping from 8:00 at night till 8:00 in the morning. Now, that is normal for my oldest two, but my youngest, the struggles I've been going through with sleeping.
Yes.
Oh,
bless you. I need to try that. Oh my gosh.
But I'm gonna send you a little care package so you can try them out. I'm swearing by this mix and I cannot wait for this to launch so I can put it on sale. But let me tell you, my son woke up the next day, my oldest, Christopher, Mr. Know-It-All, and he was like, Mommy, your oils are way better than those other oils you used to use. He said, wow, so good. But my youngest son, I'm telling you, knocked out. It has been the best thing ever. And the oils are they're so, like, you can just tell they're pure. The scent is amazing. You can tell the strength behind it. You only need a few drops. I cannot wait.
I don't know about you, but like the first time your kid, especially, I know you've been going through a chase with his sleeping habits and stuff, but the first time they sleep through the night, you can't sleep because you're like, are they okay? Why are they sleeping this long? What's happening?
Yes. And actually, so one night, I think 2 nights ago, I went to bed at like 3 a.m. I was up getting stuff ready for the online store for Mila Eve, talking to vendors who are overseas. And it's like, that's like their time to talk to you. So I'm up, to 3 in the morning. Before I went to bed, I went and checked on him and he was knocked out. So when I finally went to sleep, I was like, okay, he's good. Chris actually woke up at like 5:30 and ran in the room. Nervous. Yeah. He was like, wait, where is he? He's not in here. He's looking around. He goes in the room and he's like, he was just knocked out. So, oh my God, love it. It's been the best. So Sabrina said, my husband and I had to get tired of each other, sadly, which I never thought would happen. But sometimes we needed a break. Just to sit in my car was great. Listen, there is a quote that says, distance makes the heart grow fonder, or absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's a quote for a reason. It's true. Sometimes you do need to kind of like have your moment. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I need a break from all of y'all. Because in my house right now, I literally just said, I want to take a vacation by myself.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, my mom like getting so frustrated. My parents were divorced. And I remember my sister and I would be so annoying to her that she'd be like, I just want to run away. And it's like, I never understood it more until I became a mom, and especially during quarantine. But look, like, you know, my husband and I, the same thing where it's like, we need space. I feel like at the end of the night, there's sometimes pressure to sit together and watch TV every night or sit
Right.
together and talk. But like right now, there's not many places to go. So if you need to sit in your car or if you need to go in your room and he watches TV downstairs or whatever it is, like that's okay. You guys need to do what's best for you. And you're right. As you said, like space is good.
Yeah.
Space is good.
Ricardo's laughing at me because he said, not a vacation by yourself. Look, sometimes it gets like that. And the honest thing about it is that I would never want to actually do that. But it's just the idea of me just, like you said, just wanting to run away. And sometimes I'll say that to Chris. I'll be like, yo, I swear I'm going to run away today. Like, I said, y'all going to come downstairs and I'm going to be gone.
But you know what's so funny? It's like those, you know, my husband, we got so frustrated and he was like, I need a minute. And he got in his car and he went to a restaurant down the street and he had a beer and he came home like 30 minutes later and was like, he's like, I can't be gone for that long. Like, you know, it's just, we think we want something, like you said, like we think we want the vacation or to run away. But in reality, we just maybe need, you know, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes to ourselves just to like not be asked to do something, not to be, you know, pulled in one direction, but to just do something for ourselves.
Yes. I think a lot of what me and my husband's issue was during the quarantine, especially, it turned into almost a competition of who's doing what and who's doing what the most. Who is like, it was almost like I got to a point where I wanted to make a list of everything I did throughout the day for the kids to justify why I'm tired or exhausted. And then in his mind, he's thinking the same thing. Well, I've been doing this, that, and the other. I've been loading these dishes. Anybody that been in my house, y'all know my husband loves loading dishes. That is his claim to fame outside of football. And I hate doing dishes, so it works out perfectly. I'd rather clean the whole house, toilets included, than wash a dish. I swear. Even with the dishwasher, that's just not my thing. I like cleaning up, and I will mop a floor. I will do laundry all day long and iron clothes. And dishes that's just not my thing. But yeah, it was almost like a competition. Like I'd be like, well, why are you sleeping in late? Well, you slept in yesterday. Well, what does that have to do with today? You know?
And especially when, you know, you're working from home too. My friend, so she's working from home and her husband is a doctor. So he's been at the hospital and he'll come home and she'll be like, you know, I did 3 loads of laundry and I unloaded the dishwasher. Like she kept having to justify everything she did, even though she still was working from home, you know?
Yes, that's been me. And like squats and margaritas, that's Erin. After 8 p.m., if your name is not Bravo or Cabernet, I'm not interested. Yeah. And I've always been a workaholic, but this quarantine, I've been able to take full advantage of all of the time. I mean, I've been working on this essential oils line for like over a year, but February is when it really picked up. So from February up until this point, like, I don't know if you can fully understand how proud and accomplished this makes me feel. Like having Mila Eve, the nights, the long nights, the trying to like come up with the packaging, coming up with the logo. This logo, I'll have to like put up on the screen. If you go to Mila Eve, visit Instagram. That is me holding my first son when he was born. Straight out the womb. That is what this logo is. And it means so much to me. I almost get emotional, but this quarantine allowed me the time to do that. It allowed me the time to finish my potty training book and release it and create a publishing entity under Not for Lazy Moms because of all of the research that I had to do in order to self-publish. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I know there's been a lot of, negatives surrounding the pandemic. But if you can look at the positives in it all and take that time and make it into something beautiful, there's so many new businesses that were birthed out of this pandemic. It's been like sort of amazing, but not at the same time, you know, it's just one of those things. 2020 has been a very interesting year.
It has. It really has. I have a question for you actually. And I wonder, because you know, and I remember first off, like, I'm so proud of you because I remember when you were first talking about, just the idea of your own oils. And I remember you had the name already because Mila Eve, I remember the story behind it. And so it's just so incredible. And I can't wait to be able to like hold a bottle and use it on me, on Sam. Like, I'm just so excited. But, when it comes to your oils and books and you're so passionate, like these are like your babies, right? Yeah. So as an entrepreneur and, maybe someone is watching who's writing a book or starting a product, how do you know in your mind, like it's complete and it's ready? Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like you're such, you want it to be exactly perfect, but what does perfect mean? I mean, how do you know when it's ready? When were you?
I have a great answer for you for that, because the first time I ever experienced it was Not for Lazy Moms. When I built this, it started off as a Facebook page. And I remember telling people about my vision for Not for Lazy Moms as far as just wanting to help people. I said, I just want to create a story and a narrative for other moms and dads out there and people who want to become parents. I want to share with them, how do you get by? Why do I have to figure out and reinvent the wheel when it's already been done? Give me your tips and tricks. Tell me what you do to get by if you have so many kids. Don't let me just figure it out. Why don't we share? That's how it started. And one of the first things that people said was, well, how are you going to make that profitable? How is that going to make money? The reason that I knew that it was ready and it was what I was passionate about and it was destined for me is because I didn't care. It wasn't about the money. It was about spreading the word, helping people, creating a community, creating that bond. And I remember my husband telling me when I had all of these ideas and I said, okay, I'm gonna turn it into a website and then I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. And he was like, well, you got to take the first step. And I said, yeah, but I got to get the website ready. And I need to have like 50 articles so that they're ready to go. He said, just do something. He said, just do a Facebook page. Let it build up. And while you're working on the website, you're already creating a following. You're already putting tips and tricks out there and you're helping people. He said, stop thinking that everything has to be so perfect and set in stone in order to move forward. And that was the most powerful message that I could receive from my husband. And I listened to him and I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. Sometimes that first step is the hardest step to take, but you know that it is God-given and it's not just about you when the vision is bigger than what you can even imagine. I never once thought that Not for Lazy Moms would be a podcast, that it would spin off into a Not for Lazy Moms approved program where you have companies like Mila Eve Essentials that we can recommend to people. I never had this vision. And it all came, having a publishing house, having so many contributors and people following. I never thought that far. I just knew that something inside of me was like, this is it. And I have to keep pushing. So that pure drive, that adrenaline rush that I get every time I think about it, that's what let me know, like, I'm headed in the right direction. That first step is the hardest step to take. But once you put that action out there, the universe recognizes it. And then all of the people that you need will come to you. Just like you, Aly. Listen, Aly is the reason before. Aly is the reason that I had my first deal with iHeart for my first season of Not for Lazy Moms podcast. You referred me to the person I needed to talk to. Even when you had your own podcast, you still were sisterly enough to say, I want to see you win. Here's my contact, reach out. And then lo and behold, we've been working together ever since. And it's beautiful. And that's what Lazy Moms is about.
Yeah. And women supporting women, just people supporting each other. And I feel like, one of the negative things about 2020 is just how negative people have become. And it's just, let's be kind and let's support each other and let's be there for each other.
Yes. That if we receive any message from this year, it should be one of love and support, grace, mercy, and everything else. It really should. So I do want to tackle Diamond Jack's post here, because this is definitely something that all of us can relate to. Do you have advice for coming to grips with getting older? Oh my God. It's like, how do you even tackle that?
It's funny, like, I haven't even really had time to process it just because I feel like I'm nonstop. And, and also living the world through your child's eyes. Sometimes you forget, you almost get lost in their innocence, whether it's, Christmas or having them tell ghost stories or whatever it is. So advice for coming to grips with getting older. I don't know. Personally, I'm not looking at it as a negative thing right now. I'm looking back and seeing that I love my family. Yes, I've had some experiences that, weren't so great. I've had some sad things happen to me, but at the end of the day, I look and I see, how much I've grown, and I actually don't mind, as of right now, getting older.
Yeah. I think it's all about embracing it and just realizing that it's a blessing to be able to say that I'm older. I lost a friend when she was 24, one of my best friends, and I'm 37.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. It is a blessing. It is absolutely a blessing. And I think that that's, especially with COVID too, it's a great way to look at that. Like just how it just puts everything in perspective, all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Does. Oh gosh.
Sorry. I know.
That is, I think whenever I think about getting older, that's what I think about. So just every day is a blessing, and be grateful for it, and spend every day like it's your last, So, woo, man, listen, we are at our time limit. Y'all got me out here all emotional thinking back about loved ones and stuff. I think this has been a great episode. We didn't even get to tackle one of the other topics we wanted to talk about, which was asking for help and recognizing when you need it before you have a complete meltdown. We wanted to talk about mass acne and dealing with the fact that once we have left our homes, all of a sudden we're experiencing these breakouts on our face.
In the shape of a mask.
Oh my gosh. So next week, we are definitely going to dig into that. I want to thank La Crema for the amazing wine. This has been so great. And make sure you visit lacrema.com. I'm going to put the banner back up so that people can see it again. Visit lacrema.com, but you can also get their wine on drizzlywine.com and Instacart. Again, we are drinking the Pinot Noir tonight, but they have Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc. They have everything. So check them out. It's amazing quality. They have been around for a very long time, so they know what they're doing. So thank y'all so much for just tuning in. Appreciate life to the fullest. Really appreciate life to the fullest. I think one of the turning points of my youthfulness was realizing that I am not invincible. And that helped me to appreciate every year. Every year. I appreciate it so much. So, thank y'all for tuning in. This was a great episode. Please share. Make sure that you like and subscribe our YouTube page. Make sure that you're listening to our podcast. Our new episode just aired yesterday on Tuesday. We talked about busy being unproductive. Our podcast is it's fun. And it's not just for moms. So even though the title of our company is not for lazy moms, it's really for everybody. And you'll always get something from it. So make sure you check that out and tell a friend so that we can see you all next week. So I can't wait to see what y'all are all sipping on.
Yes.
Next week. All right, Aly, you have anything else before we log off? Cheers. Yes.
Have a good night, and I can't wait to pour some more, and cheers to you. And congrats on, I can't wait for Millie Eve Essentials. It's awesome.
Thank you so much. All right, y'all have a good night.